97.3 ABC Illawarra. Good to have your company this morning. You're with Nick Reinberger. And did you have a look at the final of Young Talent Time? I suppose it's yet another talent show. It's not quite the reality show that some of the others are. But the winners were this bunch of dancers, these bunch of kids, which were made up of a whole lot of different dance schools from right around Australia, right around New South Wales. They're known as the Little Bandits crew. And one of the crew is Jesse Hyde, who's a hip-hop dancer from Dapto High School. Here's just a little bit of Jesse talking in the preview to the grand final.
Being in a crew makes you better because everyone's trying to push themselves.
The thing I love about the Bandits is just hanging out with all the boys that love dancing as much as you do.
I can't wait to be on TV tonight. All the Bandits are so pumped.
It's pretty funky dance moves these guys were putting on. There's about 20 of them or so. Highly recommend you go and have a look at what they were doing, because it's not like the kind of hip-hop that began with the popping and locking and spinning on the head. It's kind of a combination of that plus a bit of gymnastic stuff, cheerleading where they flip people up in the air. It's extraordinary. Parents must have their hearts in their mouths, not only when the dance move is going to go right, but where they're going to land on their head and do themselves an injury. Anyway, young Jesse's back at school, and I went down to Dapto High School and caught up with him and his crew in what's known as the Sanctuary, a nice little leafy part of the school. But before I did that, I had a chat to his teacher, who actually didn't know he was a dancer until he was on the grand final.
Mr. Shane Wood from Dapto High School, music teacher and Year 9 year advisor.
Well, all of a sudden we've had a bit of light shone on Dapto High School, especially the performing artists. Tell me about young Jesse and how he sort of stood out amongst things.
Well, funny story. Jesse's probably one of our top music performers here at Dapto High.
Yeah.
Didn't know he was much of a dancer until he said, I'm on Young Talent Time this Friday night. And I said,
he was
really?
on?
Yeah, and I thought, well, there you go, I'll watch that. So I watched his first performance. I thought, well, he can really dance with his group. And then as it turns out, they've won the grand final, and he's not only a great musician, he's a great dancer too.
What sort of music does he play?
Oh, the rock. Well, they're all into rock, the young kids, but him and his little crew, if you'd like to call them, here at Dapto High School, they're right behind him and they support him, and he supports them just as much as they support him. So the music's really strong from Jesse, but just as good as his dancing, I guess, now he's been on Young Talent Time.
So he's a rock and roll player, but it's the hip-hop that he's dancing to.
That's right.
Kind of turntables and the rest of it.
I think it's a good mix, nice mix for sure.
Tell me what sort of program of music you have here at Dapto. How do you get the kids excited about music, get them interested?
We use what they like most, which is generally the rock pop music, and try and relate it back to the more traditional forms.
Yeah.
But we start all the way in Year 7 with singing, percussion, keyboards, move on to the popular instruments in Year 8 with the drums, bass, guitar, stick with keyboards and vocals, and then Year 9 they have a little bit more choice and they pick their electives. So at the moment, Year 9, which is Jesse's class, they're doing Australian music, so we've just completed a Silverchair song as part of that.
Well, what does it mean to complete it?
They performed it and got marked on it.
Okay,
They're great, good performances. We've already been assessed on the traditional Australian songs like the National Anthem and I'm Australian.
Yeah.
Then they move on to their own choice song, and they chose to do a Silverchair song, being an Australian artist.
Okay. Is it something that everybody can do? That everybody plays an instrument or does something, or it's an elective at that point?
It's an elective in Year 9 and above. Dapto being probably not a higher socio-economic area than most areas, that you don't find too many kids get private tuition. So Year 7 and 8 we do train a lot of musicianship in the hope that Year 9 comes around that most students know how to play their instruments. And in 80% of the cases that's the case. So in our Year 9 class at the moment, I dare say about 80% can play instrument really well, and they do really well.
80%?
80%,
yeah. That's great.
And that way it's good because we can work with the band and the ensemble stuff, which is the syllabus outcomes, and we match all them and do the best we can. Obviously you'll get that 20% of kids that don't really play an instrument and just like or enjoy listening to music, and you've got to work with them the best you can. But that's what a good teacher has to do, work with what he's got.
What about dance? Are we going to see some demand for a dance teacher now that Jesse's number one in the nation?
Yeah, we've got Jackie Johnson's our maths teacher. She does dance as part of sport, and she takes the kids through Southern Stars and the other regional things for dance.
The maths teacher does
Yeah,
that.
maths.
That's a versatile
That
maths
is
teacher.
that
I'm
is
impressed
true.
with
Yeah, but otherwise we don't actually have dance as an elective as such, but it's available if I think the students pick it.
Well, if you want to dance, it's got to come out somehow.
That's right. Jesse might be the right promoter for us.
Yeah, good on you. Great to talk to you. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
All right, Jesse. How are you, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
What is this place we're sitting here, the sanctuary?
I'm not really sure what it's for, but
Just somewhere to
Yeah.
go where it's nice and quiet.
pretty much.
Although it looks like it's got a nice little stage over there in the middle. Do you ever break out a few
Yeah.
dance moves in the middle?
No, I don't really come out here that much at lunchtimes and stuff.
Now, your teacher, music teacher, was telling me you're a bit of a musician and he had no idea you were a dancer. Did the music come first and you just kind of couldn't help moving to it?
Well, actually, I was being a dancer since I was 3 years old,
Yeah.
and Mum and my sister got me into that. But then, when I was about 9 or 10, I got a guitar for Christmas,
Yeah.
and I've been playing it ever since.
What sort of stuff do you like to play?
Rock, acoustic, anything really.
Yeah, but the stuff you were doing on Young Talent Time was hip-hop. How did you get into that stuff?
Well, I didn't really like jazz and tap as much as I like hip hop,
Yeah.
and jazz kind of forms into hip hop. So yeah, I just went from there and went into hip hop. So that was good.
There's a few interesting moves in there where you're spinning on your head and you do all that sort of flipping around. You worry about hurting yourself?
Well, I was when I started learning it. I was kind of young when I learned it, so I just been able to do it. And my mum used to be really nervous when I started backflipping and all that stuff. But now she's all right with it because I've been doing it for ages.
Do you ever your friends, you've got a few of them watching us as we speak, do you ever teach them to do any of these moves on the nice soft grass here?
Nah, but I'm gonna teach my cousin's little sister because she's little now, so I'm gonna teach her how to do it when she's older.
Okay, maybe we can get a lesson one day.
Yeah.
So tell me how this project started. So you learn with a local dance academy, and then they selected a few people from each of those to form the crew. Is that right?
Well, what happened was Project Dance is a organisation, not for profit organisation, of I think 7 dance schools up in Sydney.
Yep.
And the president of that, which I know pretty well, her name's Glenda, she rang me up and asked if I would audition for it because she's seen me at the Stedfords and all that. And then I went up and auditioned for Little Bandits Crew. And I got in for that. And then we didn't really know what we were going to do. And then Young Talent Time came up. So then we auditioned for that and we got in and yeah.
I know a lot of hip-hop. I was around when it kind of first began, when they were putting pieces of cardboard on the street in New York and having these battles. And there's a lot of improvisation. Is that what you do, or is it really strictly planned out and choreographed?
I don't like to do improvisation as much as I do a combo.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of the guys in the crew like to do freestyle, but I don't really like to do that. I'm more of stand back, wait for people to dance when I encourage them and stuff like that to do their own thing.
So you prefer to have a routine that you like?
Yeah, I prefer to have a routine and practice that
go.
and know it all.
So what was it like constructing the routine, or the couple of routines you ended up doing on Young Talent Time?
It was very long hours. Some days we went for 6 hours straight.
Jeez.
But we had some breaks in it.
Yeah.
The good thing, we had some pizza days where we had pizza for lunch. And yeah, it was good. But a
So
lot of travelling.
Was that all really choreographed really precisely, or was there any sort of improvising that led to that? How did your choreographer work with you?
There was some improvising in it, but certain people did it when they went down the front. They usually did to hide something that we were going to do next. So yeah.
So they might do something on the spot and they'll go, oh, we'll keep that and we'll put that together and the rest of it.
And sometimes they're like, oh, we need someone to freestyle down here, and they just pick one of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to be a rock musician. That's kind of cool at school. But what about being a dancer? Have you had to kind of keep that under your hat for a while?
Yeah, well, a lot of people that are at this school I've known since all through primary school. So they've already known because I used to do all the do dance group and stuff at primary school.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that in high school because when I first started, a lot of the people were bagging me out that knew I danced.
Yeah.
But now I really don't care about that, and they don't do it as much anymore.
It was always considered a bit sissy, when blokes were doing dancing. So was it the other weekend that changed that?
In the heat, people started to encourage dancing more. They used to be like, "Oh, that was really good. I can't wait to see it next time." So then once we won it, it's changed a lot. Everyone's kind of encouraged me to do it, and they've been really happy and all that.
So you got your big performance at the end of the year. What's it called?
Mad Night.
Mad Night.
Yeah.
You're going to be in that?
Well, I hope I'm going to be in that. We have to audition for it in a couple of weeks, I'm pretty sure. And that's for drama, music, and dance.
Okay, look, For a creaky old man like myself, you got any advice for busting some moves on the dance floor, Jesse?
I just do whatever comes naturally.
Does your dad ever dance in front of you? Is that embarrassing?
Oh, yeah, he does sometimes, but yeah, I don't
Is
really
it
like
bad?
to watch when he dances.
What does he like to dance to?
All old music.
Yeah, is that embarrassing for you to watch?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. He could threaten you with that to get you to wash up or
Oh.
something like that, I suppose.
You can try, but I won't take it.
Good on you, mate. Great to talk to you.
Thanks.
Jesse Hyde, the young dancer. So be watching out for him. And thank you to the people at Dapto High for having me yesterday. First time I'd been to Dapto High. Geez, lovely atmosphere there. Sort of quiet breeze going through the trees, and they have this nice place where we were sitting called the Sanctuary. It's quiet little chairs and in and amongst the bushes. It was beautiful. So I predict big things for young Jesse.